Hello, my name is Dee and I'm a student of psychology at the University of New England. This presentation is on motivational interviewing and how it can assist in promoting long-term exercise adherence among sedentary clients. Often clients will want to improve their level of health and fitness at pivotal moments in time, such as joining a gym as a New Year's resolution or when celebrating a milestone birthday. Although unfortunately many fail at their new program, with approximately 50% dropping out within the first 6 months. But why does this happen? Well, one of the reasons is because the client has not identified the initial cause of their sedentary behaviour in the first place. Like the saying goes, old habits die hard. It's self-reflection that highlights any barriers they may be having in regarding health and fitness and enables setting some achievable goals to work towards long-term exercise adherence. Let's look at how motivational interviewing can assist with this issue. Motivational interviewing is a strengths-based counselling approach used to facilitate behaviour change across a variety of situations, particularly with health behaviours such as improving exercise or quitting smoking. Initially introduced by William Miller in 1983, it originally evolved from the works of Carl Rogers and his person-centred approach to therapy. But what makes motivational interviewing different from other counselling approaches is that it puts the ownership in the hands of the client. There is no laying down on the couch and talking about how your sedentary behaviour stems from your mother. It is a collective and proactive experience with the practitioner to identify any ambivalence towards behavioural change and work on personal growth with realistic and measurable goals. While it may sound simplistic, motivational interviewing is underpinned by several guiding principles and theories to ensure it is authentically and respectfully delivered to clients. An integral aspect is the practitioner stepping outside of the expert role and into one of facilitator, working alongside their client in a non-judgmental space. This can be achieved by a practitioner embodying what is known as the spirit of motivational interviewing through collaboration, evocation, and by honouring a client's autonomy. Now let's unpack the concepts of the spirit of motivational interviewing a little further. Collaboration is achieved when the practitioner hands power and control back to their client and takes on a supportive role throughout the process rather than persuasive. An evocation is simply a practitioner evoking self-reflection in the client around their beliefs, values, and motivations in relation to behaviour change. And lastly, to honour a client's autonomy, the practitioner is working from a viewpoint that the client is the expert and understands that they already have the resources and knowledge necessary for behavioural change. For motivational interviewing to be effective, there are basic skills which are necessary for all practitioners. These are identified by the acronym OARS, O-A-R-S. So these skills include open-ended questions where the practitioner displays a curiosity about the client's concerns and invites them to identify these further with questions that require more than a yes or no answer. This creates an opportunity for the practitioner to gain a deeper understanding of what is important to their client and how to support their change process. Affirmations are the next aspect of our skills acronym in motivational interviewing. These assist in building a positive rapport through validation of the client. They can be statements of appreciation or an understanding of any difficulties or challenges that a client may be facing. Affirmations are most effective when efforts to change are noticed and acknowledged by the practitioner, although it is important that these are conveyed genuinely to the client. Reflections are simply rephrasing a client's statements that have been expressed to the practitioner and can assist the client to gain a better understanding of their own motivations. Hearing their thoughts being reflected back by the practitioner can help to reinforce their desire to change. And finally, summarising is a strategy that allows the practitioner to check in with the client to ensure they have a mutual understanding of what has been discussed. It's also an opportunity for the practitioner to identify any discrepancies or differences between the client's current exercise behaviour and what they have identified as important to them. A challenge faced by many when incorporating motivational interviewing is the time constraint for consultations. Milner and Rolnick developed 4 guiding principles represented by the acronym RULE, R-U-L-E, which can be used as a framework to assist in streamlining the time taken to implement motivational interviewing. The first principle is resist the writing reflex. This is where the practitioners need to avoid falling back into an expert role and giving advice about what they believe is right for their client, rather than allowing them to identify their own behavioural changes. Understanding a client's motivations is a second principle which highlights the importance of the practitioner being a curious and active listener. This gives an opportunity for the practitioner to develop a deeper understanding of the client's goals, concerns, and any barriers preventing change. Listening with empathy is a valuable tool for any practitioner undertaking motivational interviewing. This means listening to truly understand what the client is trying to communicate, respecting their journey rather than just listening to respond. It facilitates an environment which is respectful and free from judgment with the client. And then finally, empowering the client is when the practitioner demonstrates a genuine belief in their ability to change, encouraging them to identify previous examples of success in their life and creating optimism towards long-term exercise adherence and change. Motivational interviewing occurs in two phases, with the first one building a motivation to change in the client. During this stage, the practitioner needs to incorporate strategies to evoke change talk. An example may be a client being concerned about their lack of fitness and their ability to run around after their children. The practitioner would use preparatory change talk questions such as, why would you want to make this change? They then work together to identify the client's current behaviour and their future goal, which may be to play freely with their children. Now, this aspect of the motivational review is where mobilising change talk comes into play. Using what's called an importance ruler, they identify any discrepancies between the client's current situation and their desired outcome. So an importance ruler is simply a visualization cue used throughout the process for the client to be able to identify how important this change is for them. So for an example, the practitioner could say, on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 is not important at all and 10 is extremely important, how important is it for you to have a high level of fitness to be able to play with your children? Once the client has identified this, the practitioner then extends on this by asking the client why they're not at 0 and what would it take for them to be a higher number on the importance ruler. The second phase of motivational interviewing is then to strengthen the client's commitment through developing a change plan of action. Once a client has identified the changes they would like to make towards their exercise goal, it's important then for the practitioner to help increase their level of confidence in their ability to create and maintain long-term lasting change. This could be achieved by the practitioner reminding the client about previous successes that they've had in their life and how they've achieved this, which creates positivity and hope in their future goals. When creating a plan of action, the client and practitioner set realistic and achievable goals to work towards a desired outcome. During the goal setting stage, it's important for the practitioner to elicit from the client what they would like to do with key mobilizing questions such as, what changes were you thinking of making? This ensures that the goals are relevant to the client's interests rather than what the practitioner feels is best, and therefore increases the likelihood of maintaining long-term exercise adherence. The spirit of motivational interviewing continues with the practitioner in the role of facilitator and the client in the role of expert as they create the action plan based on their own motivations. Thank you for watching, and I hope you find this useful in your motivational interviewing journey. Ciao.